What's going on, everybody? This is Caleb and I'm back with another episode of Back Alley Garage. So I have a bunch of content that I haven't got around to editing. I've been busy the past couple weeks, so I thought I'd just do a garage overview quick and throw all that content in here. I'm not sure how long the video is going to be yet, but I'm hoping you guys will enjoy it. So let me shut up and flip around and show you guys what's been done. Alrighty, so here's the Datsun, and as you guys can tell, we've stripped it down pretty good. We took the doors and the front clip, and the bed is all gone, including the fuel tank. And mainly I did this because I plan on C-notching the frame. You know, between the tires, I'm going to need about a 6-inch C-notch, and I'm putting it on air ride. And then got the fuel tank over here, the bed's there, and then the rest of the pile of parts, and you can see the reflection of the heater over there. And then I have two more projects outside, which aren't technically mine, but they're over here because I'm either letting buddies use the garage and the tools, or I'm helping someone else work on their car. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys those, and hopefully it'll bring more interest into the channel. And one thing I did notice with the cold weather coming is my windshield started to crack. And I think it's just because of the hot and cold of the garage getting hot from the heater, and then when I leave at night, it cooling back down. I think it's just starting to, it is a little hard on this older windshield. So I'm gonna go ahead and go out and show you guys the other cars that are here. All right, you guys, so out here we have two more projects. This is my girlfriend's 1998 Ford Ranger. It has 56,000 miles, and the original tires are still on it. These are the tires from 1994. They're really dry rotted, so it hasn't been driven too much, but it's a good running truck. It's a little project. We got these wheels, which are off of a Jeep. They're not gonna stay, but they're just something to get by for now. But the plan is to put a new bed on it and then fix the dents up here on the roof. There's one pretty big dent. So we're gonna fix all that. Then we're lowering it. She's gonna do 5 inches in the back, 3 inches up front, and we're gonna repaint the car. And then over here, this is my friend Ian's 1998 Honda Prelude. It has a H22A4, bunch of aftermarket parts on the motor, and the plan is to lower it, wheels, tires, and then paint it. And we're also going to be painting the Ranger, so there's going to be two in-house paint projects going on. But right now there's an oil leak on the motor that we're going to end up figuring out here in a future video. We just did a radiator not too long ago, but I'm going to go back inside where it's warm after I cover this car back up, and I will talk to you guys more once I get in there. Alright, you guys, well, I'm back inside and I thought I'd show you this back wall. It's more of a behind the scenes thing, but so this is all the list for the Prelude, including all pricing out, which that's for my buddy. He did that on his own. And then, but here's the checklist. Like I said, we just did a radiator. It needs headlights, the oil leak, and all of this still needs done. And then over here on the Datsun, obviously it's a much longer list, but as you can see, we're doing air ride on it now, like I said earlier. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to run front shocks with the basic air ride setup I'm doing up front, but I should be able to run rear shocks still. But I did get the hood latching and I got the hood hinges fixed, so I should probably go ahead and cross those off. So, there we go with that. I'm going to drop the Sharpie cap. And then here's the Ranger's list, which technically we have wheels and tires, but we haven't finished mounting them yet, so I haven't crossed those off. It needs both front shocks. They're pretty bad. It's a little bouncy up front. Then we put a new mirror on, but she wants different mirrors, so that's why it says new ones beside it. We got the lights working, but she wants aftermarket black housing headlights and taillights and all that. Needs a new bed and rear window and all this other fun stuff. But it shouldn't be too much work, so I think this will help content pick up, hopefully help the channel grow. Like I said, it's been a long few weeks and I haven't really had much time, but I think my schedule is opening up more and I should be able to start uploading videos more. So we got the valve cover off, and it gave us a little bit of trouble. As you can see, that one was not cooperating. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to pull that out with some vice grips or pliers. But the top end of this motor does not look too terrible. I mean, it's a little dark, but it doesn't look bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue working on popping some of this stuff off. I'm not sure how much I can do without an engine stand, but I'm sure enough gonna try to at least get most of the accessory stuff off, like the distributor, alternator, maybe the water pump. I'm not sure if I can do that where it's sitting. And then definitely the throttle body, because we're getting a Weber Redline carburetor. So all these wires, all these unnecessary lines that run the smog stuff. And I might go ahead and pull the intake manifold. I'm not sure about that yet, but like our EGR stuff, all this is going. So yep, I'm gonna start pulling that, and I'll be right back once I'm done with it. Alrighty, you guys, so I thought I'd just show you a little bit of trouble I had. So here's where the distributor went, and where the old owner must have tried to pull the distributor, he broke this bolt here, which went down here. So I pulled it out with a pair of vice grips, and I just wanted to show you guys that there's a few things getting stuck, but we're working past it. So now that I have that and that off, we're gonna go up here and work on getting our throttle off. Alrighty, you guys, so I got our throttle off, our EGR, and all that smog junk that goes here. So now it looks more and more simple. So hopefully I can get the carburetor ordered up here soon. I'll throw it on an engine stand because I think I might do a head gasket and the timing components on it. But all in all, it doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna definitely put a clutch on it once I get more time and to that point. And then I'm thinking about opening up where we have our shifter here for the transmission and see if I can't see anything, because it's already empty on fluid. It was when I got it, but hopefully I can open that up and check it out a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and do that, and then I will be right back. Alrighty, you guys, so I did pull off the plate on the transmission over here, and I didn't really see too much. I did get it to go in gear and go through the gears, and it felt okay. So we're gonna go ahead and believe that that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to paint up our valve cover here. I have some red paint that I planned on using for it, and then I'm also gonna do the same to the wheels. And boom, just like that, we have our first wheel sanded and wiped down. So I'm gonna go ahead and tape off our valve stem. Now it's still wet, so you can't really tell that it's sanded down, but if you get real close right here where it's starting to dry, you can see we sanded the rust. Now I'm not trying to do them perfectly, because eventually I'm thinking about getting wheels for the truck. But for now, I think they'll look kind of neat red. And I'm not going to worry about taking the lug nuts off, because I plan on getting brand new chrome lug nuts for it soon enough. So I'm going to tape off our valve stem and our center, and we're going to go ahead and paint it. Alrighty, and there we go. We have this side of the wheels painted the red, and I kind of like it. It doesn't look the best. I might end up redoing it. It almost looks orange on camera. But I like the way the style goes, so I'll probably end up getting a better red paint and doing it better than what it is now, because they look good from here, but if you get closer, there's little runs, and they're not the best. The bolts are breaking up top where they're welded to the bed mount, so we're having to cut small holes and figure out a way to hold the tabs down while we loosen the bolts from the bottom. So up here we have to cut holes in here, and then let me climb up in here. So there's that tab. We're having to flatten that out and then hold it still with the pry bar, something like that. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can't get this one out, and I'll be back once we have all of them out. Alrighty, you guys, so we got all the bolts out. There's two up here, and then there's one here and one there. So there's 8 bolts in total holding the bed on, and just the two of us we picked it up and moved it back. And of course, the reason I wanted to pick the bed off is so I could get to the gas tank. And if you guys see, the gas tank mounts to the bed on these. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that off. And I'm gonna go ahead and just throw you guys on a time lapse for that. So I will see you guys once we're done pulling that. So we got our gas tank out, and it probably lightened the bed by about 50 pounds. I think I have a full tank here, which is not a good sign. I'm probably gonna have to try to find a new gas tank, but I'm not 100% sure where to find one. I did just cut most of the hoses just because I wasn't too worried about that. I mean, it's just rubber fuel hose. I can replace it. So I think next we might try to pull our fuel pump. But I know it's just a lift pump in these since they're carbureted. I'm just not 100% sure how to do it yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to figure that out, and I will let you guys know when I figure it out. Alrighty, you guys. So this doesn't have a lift pump. All it uses is a high pressure fuel pump that's mounted to the fuel rail. I learned that. So I pulled out our, I think they're called a sending unit. I'm not sure what they're called on the older vehicles. But, you know, just what controls your fuel gauge. And it looks like it's still in good enough order to be working. But when we looked in here... Huh? The flashlight, please. Yeah. So when we looked in here, I'm having him grab me a flashlight to show you guys this fuel. I don't know if it picks up as good as it does in person on camera. There we go. Fuel is not supposed to be that color. Here we go. Maybe you guys can see it better if I do it like this. So it's like reddish brownish, and I know it's from rust, but I wish you guys could smell it because it is pretty terrible. But here's the truck. Now the bed's off. The bed's over here. Like I said, pulling that fuel tank off lightened it up. I mean, now I can just almost pick it up with one hand. And then, you know, I took the doors off. I think next I'm gonna go ahead and try to rip out this headliner. And I think that's about as far as I'm gonna have the truck stripped ever. And then from there it's gonna be rebuilding. I plan on doing an air ride setup back here. So we're gonna do 4-link setup. So, you know, there are 2 uppers or 2 lowers are gonna probably run up somewhere about in here on both sides. And then, you know, we're gonna do a custom C-notch here, and then our bags and everything on here. I'm thinking I'm gonna try to tuck the exhaust. Obviously not this exhaust. This one is not in nice shape. But I think I'm gonna try to tuck it up real high and have it come between our 2 bed mounts here and cut a hole in the side of the bed down here and have it come out like right about here-ish. And then put one of the metal teardrop plates on here. I think that'll be a good look for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think we're gonna start trying to cut the exhaust out and get our headliner down. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to set up a time lapse for you guys on that, and we'll be back once it's done. Alrighty, you guys, so we got the exhaust off and it broke there, it broke there. Then we had to cut the tail section off so we could clear the axle. And now we're working on the headliner, and it was actually fairly easy. You just pop our little gasket off here, and we just ripped it down. So there's little metal bars in here, as you can see here, that we're gonna have to clean up. But as you can see, this headliner is pretty gross, and we're not 100% sure what that is up in that corner. It almost looks like a lizard skeleton or something, so we're having fun. But alrighty, I'll get back with you guys when we're done yanking this out. Alright, you guys, So we got our headliner out. I still have to cut it from around the window, but it's not too hard. But it's out all the way. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pick up the shop and the interior. But here's a quick walk around. I know I walked you guys around when I had the clip on the truck and everything. And now here it is. So here's all the parts. So it's pretty torn down. But it just means we get to rebuild bigger and better, right? So, like I said, C-notch on the back of the frame, bags here, and then up front, it's fairly easy to do bags. And the only thing I don't know about is I'm thinking I'm gonna have to cut out our fender wells here, which sucks because I just showed you guys how to do this license plate patch, and it's amazing looking. So, but yeah, I think the idea here would be I'm gonna try to cut it as perfect as I can along here. And then I'm gonna get a set of trailer fenders and try to tie them in right in here and lift them up to about here, so I have more clearance for our tires. But as you guys can tell, we're not running huge wheels and tires or anything. These are 14s with 70 series. I think, let's see, how tall are these guys? Alright, let's see. So, dead center of the axle, we're looking right about 2 foot tall for a tire. So, nothing too crazy, like I said. I think we're probably going to end up checking out the diff here soon and starting to get measurements off our frame and everything. And probably cleaning up the interior and everything, and then the motor's over there, so we're gonna try to rip into that soon. But in the near future, we'll probably be doing our brake lines and our master and booster, because as you guys know, I already did the brakes front and rear. And we'll probably be doing the C-notch in the frame and our bag setup, so then our suspension and everything's dialed in. And then we'll probably get the motor and whatnot in and have our doors and interior done. The bed will probably be the last thing we put back on, just because I can drive it without a bed, but I can't drive it without a motor. So, I want to drive it as quick as I can, but I'm still not going to rush it. So I think we'll be looking pretty good here soon. I'm going to try to see how fast I can get the C-notch and whatnot here, and my bag set up. Should be able to do that quick, and then I just have to get the big welder out so I can actually weld it sturdily so it's not gonna shake apart on me. So yeah, goal is the lay frame. So we'll see how close we can get to that. Alright you guys, so I'm hoping you're enjoying the video so far. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure how long this video is gonna be. Right now I'm estimating probably between 20 and 30 minutes. It's gonna have a lot of content in it, and I'm not 100% sure what all is going to be in it. It's just a lot of stuff I've recorded, and I haven't really had the time to edit stuff. I've been really busy with school and work, but my schedule's freeing up now, so I'm hoping I can get back into it and start uploading more videos more often. But I'm also hoping that the 2 projects out there will bring more interest to the channel, especially because we have a Honda out there, which will spark more interest in guys that are more into the cars and not so much the mini trucks. And then the Ranger out there, it's not quite as big of a project as this. We're not going to be C-notching the frame or anything like that. It's just going to be a lowering kit and some body work and wheels. So it won't be too crazy. But with the Datsun, I'm hoping it'll spark the interest in more of the guys that are into fabrication and like really custom different things. And also with that, those cars out there are more common to see on the road, and more people are going to own them than an old Datsun like this. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed this video, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.